Well, good morning, America, eh? This looks like it's recording real choppy. See what it comes out like. So, what's going on in your neighborhoods? Same as it was yesterday, most likely. Maybe a little different. So, had a car accident out front yesterday and watched a young Portland police officer almost tase a man. And I couldn't decide who to tackle because both of them would have been friggin' wrong. Both of them. But this young officer kept poking a man that was in a car accident that had been knocked out and was still struggling to come to, and he just kept kind of prodding him, provoking the situation. And the officer had tuned on the man. So he didn't fire. I didn't do anything other than talk to the police officer and the person, both. I intentionally stepped forward and would have been between them because the officer was wrong. He provoked the response that he got. So I talked to his supervisor afterwards as well and suggested that he take a breath and learn how to de-escalate a little better because he certainly didn't. So he did have his taser out. He was ready to tase the man for not a good reason for a professional. It was a good reason for a nervous, apprehensive, scared individual. So that was tough. And after that adrenaline rush of the accident, and one lady went to the hospital, to watch that unneeded aggressiveness. And yes, the driver in the accident was a black man. I intentionally stayed out there for hours to watch for that kind of interaction because I almost expected it. I could tell the officer had keyed when he arrived. He was already looking for wrong instead of looking at a car accident. So that was my day yesterday. There was a lot more to that, but it was a good day. So that's a day in the life of Portland again. What I specifically got out of it was the power of the adrenaline rush. Once I had kind of assessed the scene, I had talked the person in a daze a little bit, made him settle, and he started to move himself slowly. Then in the truck that was rear-ended, there was a 4-year-old girl in a car seat, and she was fine, and she was smiling, and she was having a good, not a good day, but she wasn't overly traumatized by this mess. But her mom went to the hospital, so it wasn't a good day for anybody all around. I will say the other two police officers were professional. It is when they had stepped away to do some paperwork and look at the accident scene that this officer pushed his aggressiveness. But I don't know if they would have intervened. So, interesting day. Another one. So what are we doing in politics? Challenge in politics. I don't know how we get the ridiculous and the supernatural conversations put in their place. These topics, these items were settled decades ago that keep getting brought up. I'm not sure how they do this. They go back and hide and hope a whole generation forgets the evil embedded in some of these folks. But my hope is we turn Congress, the Senate, and the House, and we begin looking at a lot of the legal structure that has been put in place that forces people into the courts. Why should you go to litigation after the fact? This is a libertarian dream. This is a corporate dream because they can afford to have lawyers sitting around. This is the this stuff we're playing with. Full employment for lawyers. And you know where a lot of those lawyers are coming from? They're coming from Baptist colleges, religious colleges, where God's law supersedes our nation's laws. Think about that. This is religious tactics used by a lot of faiths to try to own the communities and the social structures that surround us. So you can't talk about them because you're talking against them and hurting their fifis. So good luck. Saturday coffee. I didn't drink any of it, but it's sitting here. So maybe we'll talk more, eh?